Ever wonder why some business deals shoot up like rockets and others crash and burn? Well, it's definitely not luck. You know that. There are four simple but really powerful things that make the difference between your biggest win and your biggest regret. I studied them, looked at them. It's not just big corporations that mess up. I mean, it's small buyers get stuck too. You just don't hear about it. What you think you're buying isn't always what you get. And that risk is bigger than you think. If 7 to 8 out of 10 deals miss their targets, including the kind you're looking at, then every single deal you look at needs to pass some kind of really tough filter, right? So don't gamble with your future. Let's dive in. I'm Jon Stoddard, dealflowsystem.net. I've helped buyers close 33 million in deals and raise 50 million in funding. If you're working full time or just want to buy a business without wasting years on junk deals, you should hit that subscribe button right now and watch this video. This is a masterclass on the 4 critical factors for business acquisition success. All right, let's lay the groundwork here. Why acquisitions now? You're in one of the most interesting M&A market cycles in decades. There's like 12 million baby boomers, the silver tsunami, own businesses. And many of them are aging out and they're ready to retire. That looks like a tidal wave of opportunity if you're not knowing what you're doing. But remember that stat. Always go back to it. Most acquisitions fail to meet their goals. What's the difference is big companies can absorb their mistakes. But when you're an SMB buyer, you are personally on that hook. If you took out an SBA loan for 10 years, you've got a personal guarantee on it. So think about that for a second. Would you rather be the one who catches the falling knife or the one who picks up a diamond at the discount? So let's break down the 4 factors, 4 places to win or lose. All right, factor number 1, the art of identifying the right target. And this is really the start, right? Finding the right target is not about scrolling listings at midnight. It's really about clarity, strategy, and filtering out deals 99% of the time right immediately. I had a student last year, let's call her Anna. Anna started out chasing every listing, franchises, e-com, plumbing, auto repair. So what we had to do with her is built an acquisition compass. Had to figure out her why and her skills and her geography and her deal size. So after we did this, within 6 weeks, she zeroed on 3 companies that matched perfectly. When she saw the right one, she put an LOI on it. She did a great job on this one. So here's the question for you on your side. If Anna's company landed on your desk tomorrow, would you be able to and have the skills to recognize it as a perfect fit? Remember Buffett buying See's Candy? I know this is an old story, but he wasn't just buying chocolate. He was buying a cash machine with brand loyalty. Now, if you were Buffett in 1972, would you have paid $28 million instead of 25, knowing that it's throwing off billions of dollars now? This is why clarity beats hustle. All right, factor number 2, mastering due diligence in the digital age. Due diligence isn't paperwork. It's like X-ray vision onto the business. It's financials, it's operations, it's the legal part of it, and it's culture. All of it together. Ray Dalio says, pain plus reflection equals progress. So due diligence is where you find that pain and turn it into negotiating power, reversing the risk on you or mitigating, understanding it. One of my students, and I'll call him Sam, almost bought an e-commerce business with ugly books. Seller swore it netted $250K a year. We dug in, found $70K in personal expenses hiding in the P&L. And the real cash flow was actually higher, $320. And at that point, Sam put an LOI on that deal. That's the power of due diligence. Sometimes, and most of the times it goes negative, but sometimes it turns out positive. And looking at Sam's numbers, would you have been able to make an offer before uncovering the real cash flow? And don't forget about the culture here. you're not just buying assets, you're actually inheriting people and the culture the previous owner put in place over 10, 20 years, the systems and the habits. And that culture, I have to tell you, can make or break your first 90 days. Les Brown once said, you get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. So applied to acquisitions, you don't get the business you dream of, you get the business that you inspect. And if you're not sure how to inspect it properly, you can use tools like dealsage.io. I just did a webinar with these guys. It's an AI package that you can upload all the financials, upload the tax returns, and it'll give you a scoring, rating, and all the metrics to the business. I mean, this will turbocharge your due diligence. And I'll put that link down below in the description. I mean, it can help you spot red flags, run comps, and see risk patterns you might miss. Number 3, crafting and negotiating winning deals. Now, we're into my favorite part, actually structuring the deal. I like this because you have to look at all the angles here. And valuation really isn't about what the seller's dreams are. It's about the real cash flow, because you're buying cash flow at a rational price. And that rational price comes with debt coverage and the math banks use to underwrite your loan. So, and you know how banks works. They don't look forward, they look backward. They're underwriters, not fortune tellers. They're going to study the historical performance to see if the loan can be supported based upon the past. So the price you can pay for this business, and if you're using the SBA loan, is determined by how much debt it can support. And that's determined by real bankable cash flow. Now, there are other ways to do this if you're not getting an SBA loan, but that's rarity of the deals. And I've seen buyers win deals by structuring creatively. Bigger seller notes, a little more earnouts, and some equity kickers. Like, one of my students negotiated a lower price, but gave the seller an earnout tied to the future performance because we could not really prove the cash from the retail part of the business. Now, he protected his downside and kept the seller motivated post-close. This is where negotiation and knowing what to do, psychology kicks in. You got to build rapport, because if you lay something on like half of the business on creative financing, they're going to flip because the broker taught them cash at close. So you've got to build rapport. You got to listen more than you talk and find the seller's really hidden motivations. Are they 75 years old, tired? They want a legacy, or do they want employee security? You got to shape that deal around what matters most to them while protecting your downside, mitigating your risk. As Jim Rohn said, success is nothing more than a few disciplines. Practice every day. So in negotiation, the more you practice at negotiating deals is one of those disciplines. All right, number 4, seamless integration and post-acquisition growth. Here's where almost everyone drops the ball. They think deals are done at closing. It's just going to stake off, and I'm going to start cashing checks, and my wife's going to be happy. We're going to build a new house and go on our vacations. It's just the starting line. Private equity firms obsess over the first 90 days, and you should too. You got to think about retention, communication, and integration. I had a student and somebody on my podcast buy a regional service company. It was great cash flow, but key managers got really nervous about the new owner. They've been with the old one for 20 years. So this buyer had to build a retention plan before closing and bonuses tied to milestones to build confidence. And it was real communication from day one. So what happened to that? Zero turnover. Really great smooth transition, and revenue up 25% in the first year. I got all kinds of stories like this from my podcast guests. How would you handle that the first 90 days? Would you walk in as the new sheriff and say, hey, we're putting the law down and, fire people or cut expenses? What would you do? So you have to measure success beyond that close. PE firms do it. You should too. Track those KPIs, reinvest cash flow, strengthen your systems, lock in your people. That's how you turn one acquisition into a platform. All right, let's pull it all together in here. A couple practical takeaways. So here's your cheat sheet. Number 1, clarity beats hustle. Know your acquisition compass. 2, inspect. Don't expect. Ask every question possible. Get help asking. Due diligence reveals hidden gold or landmines, and it's going to happen like 7 to 90% of the time. Number 3, structure smart. Real cash flow, real bankable cash flow. That's your job, is to buy cash flow. That sets your valuation. And number 4, win on day 1. Have a plan, integrate, put retention plans in place, turn deals into empires. Think about this as your plan, right? What would success look like if you put all of this into place on your first acquisition and then you thought, hey, I'll go on to the next one? All right. If you found this video useful, smash that subscribe button. And if you're serious about buying your first business, head over to dealflowsystem.net. I can help you here. That's where I show you how to find, fund, and close your first deal the smart way. I'm Jon Stoddard. I'll see you on the next one.